Well, maybe. And John works with his brother, too.
No, I didn't.
John's a military part-time. See, I was too.
Sometimes I think, why did I
Is
just
that
say
a
that?
position they set one out for the first
Well,
office?
they're working always for something. I'll probably quit here. Next year or something with you
We
doing
could just figure out the terms and bring our mail to us directly.
Yeah. I used to, I delivered yours before.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Morning.
I did notice an error in the special, or the canvas minutes, and I've already fixed it, so what you guys have there on paper is the corrected.
Okay.
I think I emailed you out, I had one too many presents.
I think under nursing home, you should just have, that last line says why they haven't been posted, the meetings, the nursing home meetings, but they were. So I corrected him. Just so that people know that they are available. There was one that wasn't, but it just wasn't recorded. You can say that they are being recorded and posted by Post Rock Open Meetings. That's what I told him.
When somebody's available, should I add that?
Yes, yes.
Post Rock,
Open Meetings. Post Rock Open Meetings.
Did we already approve this, Limburg Local Pierce Stairs?
No,
Okay. I thought we did.
I think you guys discussed the fact that there wasn't any raises.
Yes.
Oh, well.
And, I emailed him, but I honestly didn't email him until Thursday, so I have not heard back from him.
We'll hold it for next week, while Joe's here, so we can, okay.
I think we need to solicit for bids, though.
What's that?
I said, I think we need to solicit for bids, though. There were plenty of auditing firms that came to the KAC conference that are available to do bids. Is this the meeting where Kathy It must have been, where she said that they had underestimated the high school project.
The rooftop unit.
I think that needs to be in there because the question for us then would be, if our amount isn't going to cover it, what happens to the dollars that we've given if it's not gonna perform the entire function?
I think she said they were trying to come up with another plan, didn't she?
Yeah, that's why I just put that she updated you guys, because that's kind of their board.
Well, no, but we asked them to sign a letter that says if they don't use those funds for that particular project, that they get returned. So I'm saying if they can't complete that project, whatever.
I think they'll come and tell you when they can.
I don't think that they have totally given up on it. I think they're trying to come up with a different plan to still do it.
And I thought the solid waste collection fee was 19 cents, not 15. Am I wrong?
Joe moved for 15.
15.
The increase he was requesting was 19.
Okay,
I think the 2% was 19, but
okay.
Unless I have that wrong, that's what I thought I read.
No, I just
I'm
didn't,
sure.
yeah, I didn't catch the change in the number for the motion. I don't see anything else.
Have you entertained a motion?
I move to approve the November 5th minutes as corrected.
I'll second. If there's no further discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. I move to approve the minutes of the November 12th canvass.
Second.
No further discussion, all those in favor say aye.
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 Do you want to read this correspondence, or?
Yeah, you can't feel it too. It's just,
Dawn DeLiesel from the USDA County Farm Service. Agricultural Foreign Investment Disclosure Act of 1978, which became effective February 2nd, 1979. Basically, some details about forms to be filled out. Requires any foreign person who acquires or transfers any interest other than a security interest in agricultural land to submit a completed form to the Secretary of Agriculture. If they hold any interest other than a security interest in agricultural land from February 1st, 1979, should have submitted a report to the Secretary. And these forms may be obtained with the county FSA office. Any foreign person who holds, acquires, or transfers any interest in agricultural land who the Secretary of Agriculture determines did not submit this FSA form, or who knowingly submitted a report that was incomplete, misleading, or false, is subject to civil penalty. FSA 153 form shall be analyzed by the United States Department of Agriculture Farm Service Agency to develop reports for the Secretary of Agriculture. And the enclosed brochure, I don't know, do you know what, did we get a brochure? Provides additional information about this act. And we appreciate your cooperation and any help you can provide pertaining to this important matter. Foreign clients should be immediately notified of these requirements. If you have any questions, please contact our office. County Executive Director, Dawn DeLiesel. Did we get a brochure?
What's that?
Is there a brochure?
No. Just a letter.
To the Lincoln County Commissioners from the Department of Health and Environment, from Governor Jeff Collier's office, public notice of Kansas Attorney General Opinion 18263. Enclosed is a public notice regarding proposed Kansas water pollution control permits for agricultural related wastes and authorization to discharge under the National Pollutant Discharge Elimination System. Please post the public notice until the expiration date identified in the public notice in accordance with Kansas Administrative Regulation 281661. And then it just has the office information. Signed by the Bureau of Environmental Field Services. And Kansas Department of Health and Environment. Oh, this is the public notice.
Yeah, actually, all of them that are done in the state.
Okay.
The only one that pertains to Lincoln County is MHW, 9,600 head feedlot. It's a
Certification?
yeah.
Okay. So where do we have to post this? Just upstairs, Dawn? In the hall?
Yes, normally I just post it like on the bulletin that walks in.
Okay. We have an invoice, some invoices. Are these all Lincoln Park Manor? Lincoln Building Supply for $5.56 for screws and something that I can't, BKINCO, whatever that means. Labor from Precision Electrical Contractors for 3 ballasts. 3 ballasts at $69.21 and labor at $130. And street plumbing, sewer gas smell in building. 2 servicemen checked smell, ran water down the sinks, drains, and toilets. So they didn't do any repairs.
Is that here, Don?
Oh, is that here? I'm sorry.
That's what
Yeah,
they called them up
that would
there.
be this.
So sorry, that would be your,
Okay, $130. They didn't find anything?
well, they think that they do have a leak, so they're gonna need to replace that sewer line. 'cause
That's the one they gotta open up.
Yes, wait.
Yeah, that we talked about. But they can't really see,
What?
they can't really see it until they,
Yeah.
because nothing's leaking.
She didn't want them to do it until the election stuff was all over.
Yeah. Dated January 22nd, 2018. Is this, oh, this is just the information about the board members. So this is Council on Aging. You're saying these, you gave us this because this is the appointments that we did at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, and that's what you were provided.
Okay, Judy Olvers, Keith Yarnell, Charlene Watson, and Charlene DeWitt were all from through December of 2000. Let me correct that. Judy Olvers, Keith Yarnell, and Charlene Watson were all through December of 2019. Charlene DeWitt was through December of this year, 2018. That's the recommendation by the County Council on Aging to the Board of Commissioners as of January 22nd, 2018, and we approved that.
Yes.
So these are our letters of approval for each person. Judy, Keith, Charlene, and Charlene. 3 for 2000 through 2019 and 1 through 2018. Was
It was brought up, though, at the Council of Aging meeting a few months ago, that some of those were not correct dates. And it's a 2-year term. So there was a half a year think it goes like from July, if you're before July, it's a full year. If you're after July, it's a half a year. And you're not counting that year as part of the 2-year term. So when they went back and looked at them, it was Judy Albers was actually at the end of this year, and not 2019.
Well, I think she came in and filled an unexpired term,
Yeah.
but I think it was less, just a matter of a few
So
months.
she figured all of 2017 and all of 2018. That's 2 years.
We'll have to check with their
When they
records.
went back and looked at the minutes and things, and that's what they found.
We'll have to
Everyone else.
compare their record with
rest
ours,
were
I
the
guess.
other- were dated. We're correct. And I don't know if that came from aging area coordinator or what.
This,
Yeah,
this was given to us at the beginning of the year from the Office of the Council on Aging at the
Yeah.
time.
yeah, but I don't.
So then
know
we
who
approved
did
them all
it.
on February 6th. It's not signed.
Yeah, well, like I
So
said.
I don't know.
We went through all the minutes and that's what we found.
Okay.
And Judy did have a letter, because it came from this office, and that's what I went and told Dawn, that that would be an incorrect one appointment. But it's however, and everybody's able to apply again, anyway. It's not like you can't come
Yeah.
back and apply again.
They don't have a term limit?
They
2
do.
years, but then you can apply again,
Yeah.
and then 4 years, then you can't apply again. So every one of those can apply for another.
Those
2 years.
particular positions,
Right.
okay. Is this, well, it's 10:15 if you wanna.
Okay, Michael, let's go ahead and get to this here. There's 3 tax abatements, 2 of them are specials that were collected by the city, and the other is a building that was put on 2 parcels instead of 1. We can do them later, but the one's pretty big, but it actually, same building,
Okay.
assessed on 2 different parcels.
Before you guys start, Michael, I have Brian Taylor's number for you.
Okay.
It's 620-747-9135.
And what exactly were you wanting me to convey to him?
I think we
put-
need to ask him to provide us the information that he has, because when I spoke with him personally, I mean, we were out in the country and we had just met along the road. But what I'm saying is I think he either needs to mail to us, send us, email us, bring to us, or we get from him whatever information he has from the state, because he had been contacted by the state on several occasions in the past. I don't know how recently, but I know a lot of the information he had was, I think, before we started discussing this new inspection that's required for updating it now. So I think we need to see who had been sending that information and what they wanted and required, or what they were asking him to do prior to the stage that we're in now. So if you'd ask him for whatever information he can share as far as correspondence from the state, that would be helpful for us.
Alrighty. Some updates for you. We are trying to get mowing completed yet. Hitting some of the roads, blading. Some are dry enough, some are not. A lot of the dirts in areas are way too wet yet. We're gonna try hauling some gravel today up in the northeast part of the county. Hopefully we can dig back in the pile far enough to find some dry enough material that'll work for us. We did haul a little bit of road rock last week in a few spots. Bridge OS 87, the Goldenrod Bridge, has been completely removed. The dirt contractor is out of there as of now, and hopefully the contractor will be moving in. Earliest will be this Wednesday, but more than likely with the holiday weekend, I think it'll be next week, so they can get started there. OS 105, just west of town here on the bottom road on Milo Drive. We're going to go meet with Rolling Hills, trying to come up with a solution on the power issues there for driving pile. And they're hoping to have a solution that will be fairly beneficial to everybody. So that will be the plan there. We are still down a mower tractor, like I informed you guys a couple weeks ago. This late in the year, we'll probably wait until next year to come up with a firm solution. I have a employee that's completed his 1 year, and here is a performance evaluation, and I would recommend that he gets the customary 25 cents at 1 year.
Is it 1 year or 6 months? I thought that was 6 months for that person. Wasn't that just
Is
an
it, if you tell-
Gary
Fuller?
Fuller?
He's-
Wasn't that a
I
hire
think
from
he's
this year?
6 months.
Is it? Okay.
I'll look him up though.
I think it's longer now.
For some reason I thought it was 1 year, but
Probably can't look him up.
I'm pretty sure it's a year.
I apparently forgot to have him in this last contact. I'll go look real quick.
it might be 6 months.
Did you bring anybody else?
I did not. I have not
I'm
had
pretty
time.
sure he's 6 months. Oh, hey, I know how to look up. I'll look up in the minutes on the diary.
I'm pretty sure it wasn't last year at this time.
9/26 is anniversary.
Okay, so it is a year. It's only 25 cents.
It's what,
1 year, that's what she said.
25 cents?
For a year.
Huh.
And I believe it was at the last commission meeting I'd mentioned to you, and I think maybe one other meeting I'd mentioned it, that next year I'd like to look at replacing some of our 12-yard gravel trucks instead of doing the motor grader replacements. Ellsworth County is currently bidding a truck. I got some information on that. I have not had a chance to go down and look at it. I'd like to go see how everything's being set up, but it's they're setting it up the same way I'd like to as far as being universal. It can be a plow truck, spreader truck. It'll hook up to the chip spreader, be able to haul gravel, and everything else will be one-use truck. And these are currently at without trade, $159,000. That being said, they are 13 to 14 months out potentially on delivery if we were to make a decision
I'm
to
sorry,
do
I just
something.
read this. Can you repeat that last part about what you were saying?
The fact that the truck manufacturer is saying it would be 13 to 14 months for delivery
What piece of equipment was it?
on 12-yard gravel trucks. That would also be a plow truck and spreader truck. Be able to update our 3 12-yard gravel trucks and eliminate 2 of our old spreader units that we'd purchased from the state that are hard to keep running. They're pretty well rusted out.
So you're looking at 5 pieces of equipment?
3. We would eliminate 5 and go back with 3.
Are all 5 being used at one time? Any projects now, or?
No, not typically. The plow trucks, the bridge crew will use them a little bit for moving some material and stuff, but they typically sit around most of the year and are used in the winter, and that's it.
And that's the 2?
The 2 state
Plow
trucks. Plow trucks, yes. So my point being is, if it's something that we're thinking that we're going to be able to do, the sooner we do it, the better off we will be.
No, we can't do anything far as purchasing anything before January 1st.
Yeah.
Gotta go in this year's budget.
So the plow trucks that you're saying are only used in the winter, what is wrong with them?
Oh, one of them we can't even keep it running. We haven't figured out what the problem is, so we're actually down to one plow truck at this point in the game.
Who's looked at the one that you can't keep running
We've looked
besides
at
your
it
own
and
shop?
BC Diesel's looked at it once. They thought they had it fixed. We brought it home and it's still doing it, so.
Did
it's
we
back
pay for
there.
that? Or you took it back?
Took it back. I believe we did get a bill on it already though.
But it wasn't fixed.
They went and test drove it and they didn't have any problems, and then when we got it back we were having problems, so
What is that problem?
the engine dies. Can't keep it running. And I'm speculating it's,
Chasing that down might be a real deal.
and that's where the problem is. I believe it's wiring. You know, those trucks we picked up from the state are bundled with a lot of wiring that is not necessary for what we use them for. You know, they use liquid brine and all that, and there's just so many extra wires that go with it. And
But BC Diesel's agreed to look at it again under the same, because, I mean, what did we get billed for if they didn't find anything?
they replaced a solenoid, I believe, that they thought was the problem, and they had the labor as far as trying to troubleshoot it.
And it's there now?
Yes.
Okay. And the other one?
Right now, I believe we got it to where we're able to use it.
Okay, and then the three, you were talking about the belly dumps, is that?
No, not the belly dumps, just our end dumps.
End dumps?
Yes.
And what's wrong with them?
Earlier this summer, we had one of them in that we had to do a bunch of rear end work to it. And we kind of really didn't have a choice. It happened right before chip sealing, so we went ahead with that.
Rear end work, rust, like physical, what kind of rear end?
Bearings and axles and gears and all that.
So it's fixed?
Yes.
Okay.
And then the other one, they inspected it and it's getting to the point where it needs to be about the same thing done to that.
And we did that in-house?
No.
Who did the rear end work?
BC did that.
Okay.
And the newest one is
95 or a 4, I believe.
That's the one that needs the rear end fixed?
No, that's just the newest one. The other ones are 91s, I think, 91s, 92s.
So what's wrong with the third one? One had its rear end fixed, the other one needs it, and what's wrong with the third one?
Nothing major at this point.
But you're coming to the commission wanting 3 new trucks because,
he wants to get set up so he has plow trucks.
The ones we bought from the state are very unreliable.
how long have we had them?
Oh goodness, 5 years now? 4 or 5 years?
They're unreliable, but you just said one is okay and doesn't need anything.
At this point in time, it's operating, yes.
Okay.
They are very unreliable.
So have you done a cost analysis to find out what we've spent on them in the last 5 years versus what the amortization would be for new purchases?
I have not went that far yet. No.
Okay, that might be good to see.
Do you know what it costs to put the, go through the rear ends?
It was right around 18,000, I believe.
For one of the end dumps?
Yes, on the rear end.
How long have we had those? You said 5 years on the plow trucks.
Oh, those bought early 90s.
We bought them new, so we
No,
had.
one of them no,
Well, you said they were 91, so if we bought them in the early 90s, were they new?
none of them were brand new. I don't believe. Two of them were
If it
Ellis
was, it
County
was
dump
it
trucks,
was
is
that
what I was
white
told.
one.
Yeah,
And I don't know if it was new or not, but
it came out of Tulsa. I believe it was used in the oil field because it was set up as a tractor and not an end dump. And then it got converted to a end dump.
did they buy those trucks after the flood? in
93 flood maybe.
Yeah,
I know we bought a lot of equipment.
they got a bunch of FEMA money and bought a bunch of equipment right after the flood in
I wanted to
93.
say those were 91s, and they were the two yellow ones. I'm pretty sure they were Ellis County trucks that they had sold.
So we spent 18,000 to fix the rear end on the one end dump, which would approximately be about the same cost to do the same thing for the other one that needs it. Nothing needs done currently to the third. But what is the cost you're estimating for a new one that you are proposing to purchase?
For all three, it'd be about $477,000.
Even if you fix them, you don't have plow trucks.
He just said we have two, and the one is at BC Diesel, and the other one is.
We used to run
is okay.
3, and we've been shorthanded for several years on that.
When it
We've been
snows,
very fortunate we haven't had much snow in the last 5,
Yeah.
6 years.
when it snows and they break down, we'll give them your number, they can call you.
Well, my concern, Terry, is the proposal of almost $500,000 on new equipment when our budget for gravel has stayed relatively consistent at $100,000, which now gives us half as much buying capacity as it did in prior years since we upped the price. And you actually had kind of made a verbal promise that we were going to increase the price yet again, but that line item in the budget did not increase. So without gravel to put on the roads, what's the point of getting 3 new trucks?
Whatever. Got anything else?
I believe Tanner has a few things.
Yeah, we got that federal highway, last time I was here, we talked about the bundling application. We got that put together and submitted at the end of last month. Right now it's in KDOT's hands, and I think they're reviewing them, and then they're gonna announce what they submit to the feds, I think the 1st of December. So just an update on that. And Harlow Road program, they sent out a memo for a call for projects. In the past, we've done the signs along the major collectors. So I believe all the signs along the major collectors have been replaced. Last year, we applied to have all the signs replaced on the minor collectors. Last year, we didn't get selected, so we usually just use the same application the next time. So that's what we were planning on doing, if that's okay with you guys. Okay. And then they also had in here a local road safety plan. So, was it 2 years ago, there were 4 counties that signed up to do one of these. Barton, McPherson, Stafford, and one other one, Butler counties. So in order to get the Harlow Road funding in the future, they're wanting all the counties to have a local road safety plan completed. So we did get an application for that. We did fill it out and we did submit that. It's a 90-10 split. So they're saying each of the plans is going to cost about $50,000. So the county would need to come up with about $5,000 to have that one of those plans completed. This is just applying into the program. Obviously, KDOT's, if Lincoln County gets selected, then they'll send us a contract and agreement. And if we want to proceed with the $5,000, having one of these done.
Is that a new state mandated, statutory requirement to have a plan, or it's just an option to do a plan?
Option to do one,
Okay.
and they're prioritizing. So all the counties that had the plan done got projects, got money through the Harlow Road program. So just talk about Clark County. They got selected to do one. They got a contract. They were concerned with if someone comes and does a safety plan, are we gonna be liable? There's actually a state statute that says, I can send it to you, the number of it, but if the county does a safety plan, then they're not liable for if someone goes and or gets wrecks along these identified projects or something. They're not liable for any of that. So the plan is they're gonna hire a consulting engineer. They're gonna come and drive all the major collectors and all the paved roads, and then they're gonna put together a plan. And in the plan, there's gonna be like 10 projects that they identified to help improve the safety along Lincoln County's roads. And then the county, if they choose to, can pick one of those projects and apply into the program.
So their funding, their proposal is they fund 90% of
Yes.
that process with the engineer and the.
Yes.
But if you have the plan, you can also apply for more funding.
If you have the plan, you kind of get a priority.
That's a prioritization.
Yep. So the counties that have the plans in place are going to get an extra point, I guess, when they go through and review all the high-risk road applications. So, yes, I told Michael, definitely, I think we should do it. So we ended up
Well,
doing
for
it.
$5,000,
Yeah.
yeah.
Right.
I mean,
Right. Right. And so we sent that in. Right now, I think we signed up to do it in 2019 federal fiscal year, so it'll be next year. To have one completed then. Right now, it's a first come first serve. I think there's 10 spots still open. I'm talking to some of the KDOT guys. Yeah, so we'll see if we get selected for the next round. And if not, then it'll just be pushed back a year. So the state's wanting to get all.
but in the
105.
meantime, you're still doing a resubmission of the
Yes.
previous year's application that was
Yep.
rejected from.
Yep.
Okay, gotcha.
Exactly. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So that's that. You give an update on off system 87. The bridge inspections. I have a draft report in my lap on that, so I'm going to get that reviewed here in the next month, and then I'll bring you the biennial bridge inspection reports next month. And then I'll just bring you guys a copy, and if you want to see different formatting or something, we can all tailor it to how you guys want to see it, and what Michael likes to see too. I think that's it on my part that I had today.
I have a verbal thank you to give you. Mary Powell was pleased to see a road sign put up on, is that 181 that goes past there? So thank you for that. And then I had someone write down 2 bridge issues for me. Sorry, I was looking up the bridge number for you. It's 95. And then, what are the triangular ones on this? Are they? FAS. Okay, so FAS 570. I was given no detail about what needs done or what the issue is, but if someone gets a chance, or if whoever's on that route, if they could give you a description when you eventually get the chance to go out there and see. It's just 2 things that were brought to my attention. I'm sorry I don't have any details. You know those areas?
No, I do know an area that needs some work done on it. 120th Road on the west side by, as you go up the Vesper Hill, that's caving off.
Okay.
So you said off system 95 and FS 570?
Yes.
570 is not
Yeah.
the one we put on federal
95
bundle
is
package,
here.
or is that 470?
They're actually just a mile apart from each other on the same stream there.
570 and 65.
95. Oh,
Oh.
I'm sorry, you already had.
Yeah, we did
Yeah,
570.
570 is the one that we are actually putting in that bundle package with federal dollars.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
With the one on the west side of the
Yeah,
road? Okay,
65.
okay, yeah,
Yep.
okay. So does that need a full replacement? Is that what the proposal was?
Yeah,
it's,
that's what
it's
would
what, a
be-
9-ton, and I know that
There's
it's
6 and a 3. I think there's
6-ton.
Yeah, I think 65 is 3 ton and the 570 is 6 ton, if I remember right.
Okay,
So yeah, so there are some major weight restrictions on
that
each
sounds
of
right,
those.
because I know that the 65 was down to 3, marked at 3.
Right.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
it's a truss, old truss down there on a dirt road.
Okay.
If we have time, would like to request a 5-minute executive session for a potential new hire to discuss some information on that.
Okay, before we do that, let's do this.
Okay.
I move to approve 25-cent hourly increase for Gary Fuller based on the recommendation of his employee evaluation.
I'll second. For no further discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Is that all you had other than that?
Yes, sir.
I'd move into executive session. 5 minutes,
That'd be fine.
non-elected personnel.
New hire, potential new
Review
hire.
a new hire,
Dee Dee can be in here.
Okay.
If
With
you guys-
HR.
With HR, yes.
Okay.
but the commissioners, Michael, Dee Dee, you need Dawn.
So when you finish.
Sure. And I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
You can come up here, Dee Dee, if you want. Don, do you know the starting wage for highway department?
Truck,
Truck driver?
I guess he would.
Yeah, he'd be truck driving his code.
That would be his.
Who was somebody that we've hired? I wanna say 12:30, but I don't know why I say that.
That's kind of what I was thinking. I'm not 100% sure.
Who's somebody that's just started? Oh, Tim Line. Hang on, I'll tell you.
12:30 on my list, so. Must not be
Is that from the
anybody.
beginning of the year though? It's,
Yeah,
Except for 10, everybody's.
what's his first name?
Sheldon.
Okay.
I've got back in January, I had a couple 1280s, so I would assume they were new employees that had a 50-cent increase maybe.
Or
That
the
would've
beginning of
been-
the year, yeah.
That would have been,
For cost of living.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So 80 minus 50 is 30. Didn't you say 12:30 already?
That's what Don
I
thought
think
it was.
12:30, but just give me a minute. Or maybe a few more than a minute. Okay, we hired, Tim Line in at 12:80, so it'd be 12:80.
1280.
Well, I guess if you were to take into consideration the cost of living at on January, that would be the new incoming. Okay. I move to approve Highway Department extending offer of employment to Sheldon Frederking, starting as truck driver at $12.80 an hour.
I'll second. There's no further discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay.
All right, thank you all.
Thank
You
you.
bet.
Thank you.
Have a great week. No,
Keep
you're
it-
fine.
Keep it warm and no more rain.
I agree. One copy. Okay.
Jennifer here.
Yes.
Yes. I was gonna discuss that with her.
We're ready for you, Jennifer.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I have some information that is attorney-client privilege, and I would request an executive session at this time.
Do you have a time frame that you suggest?
Let's just do 10 minutes in case we need to make further calls.
Okay.
Good.
I move to enter into executive session for the purpose of attorney-client privilege, discussing nursing home committee,
In Lincoln Park Manor.
Lincoln Park Manor.
I will second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Just give me just a few.
All right.
Yeah, we're open session. It's open session.
And I'll alert you when I receive any information regarding that meeting, that I would like there to be some availability of everyone.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
So
Yeah.
if we need to deal with something, we can deal with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It would also be nice to know who comes from the State Department,
Mm-hmm.
just name-wise.
Okay.
You wanted to talk about the engagement letter.
Yeah.
I believe in that one that I provided to you, there's the estimation of costs that
Yes.
they know at this time.
Yes.
Okay. So we have an engagement letter from Eric Otting, in his auditing firm, that we have requested, the committee had requested him to start working and developing a pro forma budget to assess the financial situation and what is projected to be needed financially and how that's going to play out for the nursing home. On behalf of the county, he would be doing that. Anticipation of total fees will be $9,000.
I would move that we enter into a letter of engagement with Windling No, Nelson and Johnson LLC for an estimated cost of $9,000.
Second.
Is there any further discussion? Not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye. Do you need multiple copies, or no, just one?
If I could have one, then I will go upstairs and make a copy of it, and I'll scan it and get it to,
Oh, you're signing it. You don't need more than, there's just one. That's good.
I have some other copies if anybody needs it. I tried to make as many as I could. Alright, I'll take care of that. I'll leave the original. Here, I'll take a copy and I'll get that sent to him.
Okay.
And let's move forward.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Alright, thank you for arranging and me for my time. I
No,
appreciate
thank you
that.
for bringing him on.
Okay, Ms. Case, you're up.
First of all, I just wanted to take a moment to thank you guys for giving me this opportunity. I truly appreciate it. Everybody's been wonderful. Dawn and Hannah are my godsends. They're helping me to learn as I go along. Even with all the stupid questions I ask her, she's been more than kind to me. So I just wanted you guys to know I appreciate it.
Well, welcome aboard.
Thank you. I am getting my feet wet. I'm learning as I'm going, and I've actually, only been here less than 2 weeks, and I've actually been doing a lot of my own already. So I think I'm fitting right in. So
Is your office set up?
it is for the most part. There's a cabinet or two left that needs to be shifted over. I'll be focusing mainly this week probably on learning how to submit payroll, that type of stuff, since that's coming up next week. But
Yeah.
for the most part, it's all there. I just have just a couple of small questions that I've been asked, and they're just pertinent with the holidays coming up. Christmas Eve is on a Monday. So I was to ask if you wanted to do a full day, a half day, or just be closed.
Customarily, we've done a half a day, haven't we, Dawn?
And then just Christmas Day.
Yeah, the Christmas Day is a regular holiday, but, I'd say in years past, when it's landed this way, you've given the entire day. Sometimes you just do a half a day. It's kinda up to you guys.
Well, or
If you're
falls on
wanting to give
falls on a
anything.
Monday where people may be going out of town.
Yeah, I think that was kind of the big question because it's on a Monday.
Well, then we have the same thing on the following week with New Year's. How does that work?
New Year's is typically never ever. I mean, we still here in the courthouse close to the public at noon, just.
On New Year's Day?
Or on New Year's Eve to
Yeah.
finalize booking.
Yeah, close things out for the year.
So we'll have to have our commission meeting that day if you're doing, end of the month on December 31st, which is a Monday. Well, how does that work out to the end of the year with what the employees have as far as number of holiday pay?
What do you mean by that? 'Cause
I mean, isn't it pre-established that they get X amount of days for holiday pay?
we get 10 paid holidays per year. If you do New Year's Eve, it's additional, and that's your guys' choice.
And Christmas Eve is what I'm asking about.
Or yes, that's what I meant. Christmas Eve. Did I say New Year's Eve?
Yeah.
Okay. Christmas Eve is normally your guys'
So
choice.
Christmas is counted as one, New Year's is counted as one, Thanksgiving's counted as one. We didn't have any additional days programmed into that, is what I'm asking.
So if we were closed on Monday, Christmas Eve, they would just be leave time. If they
Normally
weren't
what
paid.
you guys do is if you close on Christmas Eve is you grant that as an extra holiday, whatever it is that you close.
But they don't have to use their own leave time
Correct.
if they want paid. So you're proposing to offer it with pay, a closed day with pay.
That's what you have typically done in the past. I'm not proposing anything. It's just letting you know what they have done in the past. And you have to keep in mind, if you close that Monday and you say people have to use their leave time, you have employees that don't have leave time to use.
Right. Which I'm one.
I guess we've done a half a day in the past. I guess I would be thinking we'd stay with a half a day, and if somebody wanted the whole day, they'd just have to use 4 hours of their leave time, correct?
And are we still having a commission meeting on that day? Because it's a Monday, it would be the 24th,
Probably.
so, okay.
We'll have to have one the next Monday.
Right, I mean, I would go along with that.
Okay.
So does somebody want to make a motion?
I would move to grant a half a day for Christmas Eve. As we've done in the past.
Second,
All those in favor say aye.
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 And when you say a half a day, are you saying 4 hours?
Like 8 to 12.
Yeah. 4 hours.
Because some departments have different.
That's fine.
Oh, gotcha. Just 4 hours. Okay. That's true, some departments are like
Shifts.
7.
Thank you, I forgot about that.
Yes, thank you, Don, I didn't realize that either. Okay, and then, my second question is, were you planning this year to give Christmas gifts? Last year you gave, $25 in chamber bucks, but there's been years that you've done turkeys or hams.
Yeah, I think the Christmas bucks chamber bucks works better than the hams, as far as I'm concerned. You don't have the logistics of getting the hams to everybody, and some people don't like hams, so.
True.
And the chamber bucks,
They
they have
can
to
just
spend
use
them in,
wherever,
with the chamber members, so it helps the
Right.
economy, so. Okay, so.
Okay.
All right, you?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay, and all full-time, part-time, full and part-time?
I think,
We've done full and part-time, we just haven't done like part-time per need. Basically, if they worked in the month of November, we pretty much did them.
yeah, I think so. I mean, they're employees, I don't think it's. We don't give them a half a ham, so.
Do we need a motion since you have to make a purchase with that? I'd move to purchase chamber bucks for employee Christmas bonus. It says plural.
I'll second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Good. And that's all I have this week.
Okay,
All right, thanks.
thank you. Okay, Dawn, you wanna visit with us?
Yes, so, yeah, you can obviously see I stuck that on
That's okay.
Dee Dee.
That's
I
all
fine.
right.
told her, I said, I haven't had a chance, so might as well get your feet wet. Normally HR takes care of that part of it, so anyways.
More than happy.
So when they were installing Dee Dee's equipment, of course David come to inspect it, look at it, and he would like something similar to that. I don't know if you remember going up to David's office and seeing that everything's like kind of pieced together. I think basically when we built that office, we just dug whatever we could find wherever out. And he doesn't really have a lot of file storage space, so this would be the bid to basically get David exactly what we have in the HR office that would give him some more room. They measured out his building, or his new office, and kind
May
of.
I interrupt you? I'm just wondering why he asked you to bring it.
I thought he was gonna get on the agenda and come, but he didn't, so I'm doing it, I guess.
That's not toward you, I just a question.
I saw him moving stuff earlier.
So, I don't know, I thought he
I
was
mean, is
gonna
he
get on the
proposing
agenda.
that this comes out of his own budget? Is he asking for general funds?
I'm assuming that we would take it out of like we did with HR and take it out of capital improvement.
I don't think he's got anything in the budget for.
Well, I'm
No.
not gonna support that at this time. That's an unnecessary expense.
I think, can we wait on this
Yes.
until,
Yeah.
The other one that I have is, with the combining of the extension office, and this is just a bid, I asked him, he did come down and talk to Elisa, it says Elisa on there, but it's more for me. I did have him kind of look at the extension office room and to see what we could do for storage options there to kind of help, with the cramming of 2 offices into basically 2 spaces. And this is what he came up with that would fit into that room, and of course it would be there permanently, so if extension ever moved out, whoever would move into that office would have the office storage space available.
do we currently furnish there?
We've not, no, and it's a little bit more expensive than what I thought it was gonna be, so, but.
I guess I would be hard pressed to do that.
I'm gonna have to agree, just because I understand that it's a nice gesture for them accommodating what we're asking of them, but at the same time, to spend nearly $8,000, I mean, that's quite a bit of rent that could be paid somewhere else if there was an option to move, so I'm just gonna say, I'm gonna go along with Terry on that one for now.
And then, I told this person that it's not really our issue, but I said I would bring it to you guys and let you guys discuss it. But, so, obviously there is still confusion as to what is collection fee, what is, disposal fee for landfill and businesses. So, a couple of years ago, Bob Bertelson purchased the Maybrook Apartments. They're not called Maybrook, but I don't know what they're called right now. Garden Walk or something
Over on
like
the
that.
west side.
Yes, there's two apartment complexes, one on this side of town and one on the highway. When he purchased them, he was a little upset because we were charging him as a business the solid waste disposal fee for the business. And that included all of the apartments. That's how it was set up when they built the Maybrook Apartments. That's how we inherited it. At that point in time, he felt like it should be charged based upon the unit. So 2 years ago, we had the conversation. I swear we had the conversation with Randy, the city, Bob Bertelson, to determine what and how it should be billed. The Post Rock Apartments, which is the high rise and what is considered the other low income housing that is somehow tied to the city. I don't really understand that whole process of it. But, and maybe it isn't anymore.
It's owned by the Lincoln Housing Authority, which the board's appointed by the city.
Yes. So with those apartments, they bill the trash on the apartment. So the person that resides in the apartment is paying for the trash collection fee, etc., etc. They deposit the trash into a dumpster. Randy comes and picks up the dumpster and disposes of the property. For some reason, Maybrook Apartments, they did differently. And
You're saying the landowner has a fee that he pays in a lump sum that is divided by how many numbers of units there are? And that's on his tax bill.
It's on his refuse bill. The Maybrook Apartments, we were charging them based upon the tonnage of weight that was being collected in the dumpster, and then it was up to them as to how they collected it. Now, my understanding is through HUD, you can't charge them for the trash. It's all, and that's part of the reason why, because that was HUD housing prior to the sale. And that's part of the reason why the property sold, is because it no longer qualified for HUD housing designation. And so when Bob Bertelson purchased it, he questioned why it was being billed that way. He asked that it be billed to the resident, and that the resident who is occupying the resident take the trash or pay for that expense. So the city of Lincoln, because that's how the other apartments were being done, took it, added it to their city bill. I still don't think this is our issue, but I don't know if we have an ownership in it. But so when he complained, I thought we had discussed with all parties that was affected by it. They started adding it to their city bill. So if there is a resident that occupies the apartment, they're paying for their own trash collection. The difference between them and a household is that I roll mine out in my poly cart and set it at the curb. They throw theirs into a dumpster. Well, apparently Randy has been billing Bertelson's to dump his dumpsters, which the collection part of it has been being billed and paid on the city bill, which then has been being remitted to us, which we have been passing through and providing to Randy.
Well, if I remember the conversation right, Bertelson was supposed to come in every month and tell you how many people. I don't remember
That was
ever
part-
being.
That was part of what we were going to do, and then we decided to add it to the city. The city finally agreed that they would add it to the city bill.
So are they
So you
collecting-
remember the conversation
So
then.
who, he has, weekend apartments, he's paying the trash on those. There are hunters and stuff that stay down there on the weekends that I'm sure the utility bill is not in that 190.
I think it's in his name. I think he's paying, because as long as there's a meter, they're getting charged trash. If there's no meter, they're not getting charged trash. So whoever's paying the utilities is paying the trash on that bill. So that's kind of where it was left off at. Well, he's been paying Randan for 2 years, and now he wants his $5,000. He went to the city, he wants his $5,000 from the city. They won't give it to him because they passed it through to us. I'm not gonna give him $5,000 because we didn't collect it. But when he talked to Randy, Randy apparently told him he needed to, I apologize. He needed to, talk to the city and get the money back from the city. And, I said, we've passed it through to him. And then, I have not talked to Randy myself. I asked Bob Bertelson to come get on the agenda to visit with you guys if he really thinks he wants us to pay him the money. He wants us to withhold it from Randy. That's not our problem. Personally, I feel bad for him. The only thing I really think that we could do is maybe withhold however many households. He said there's 20 now. If the city is paying us for 20, divert 20.
Who's paying the tonnage?
The resident is, because they're getting billed the solid waste disposal
They're paying
fee.
just like the regular residents in the city?
Yes.
Because that's not the way I remember that deal was supposed to go. Burleson was supposed to come up here every month and tell us how many
No.
residents he had.
Well, that was until the city said yes, that they would go ahead and add it to their
Just do the
utility
billing,
bills.
because if the utilities are on, then you're paying
Yes.
for it.
So,
Right.
so
That's-
we're getting $72 for the business because he has
Once for that,
one a year.
for both locations?
Because he has one office. The office is down there. So we get $72 from him. That's all we bill him for. In fact, he still has a credit on the account.
Why did it take him 2 years to figure out this is going on?
I have no idea.
Because this
Again, that's
discussion
where I
has
don't.
come up, and I will correct myself. When I looked at my utility bill in Sylvan, I do not have, like I thought I did, I do not have, like a resident does, that additional, whatever,
$10 something.
$6, yeah. But the issue is, the business is paying $72 to be able to take an unlimited amount of trash to the dump, just like any other person in the country is capable of doing. But then on top of that,
Not necessarily.
Not
'cause they're
unlimited.
based on tonnage.
A business is based on tonnage, so that's like 1,200 pounds or 1,200. Yeah, 1,200 pounds. I think you take it divided by.
so my question is, who's weighing that?
It's estimated tonnage.
It always has been estimated.
So, my point is, if you're not, as a business, separately employing Randan Incorporated to haul away your dumpster, then you have the option to manually take garbage to the dump.
Correct.
Or contract with another provider who will take your dumpster away.
Correct. And those that are choosing to take to the dump, most of them are over the $72 limit, so we bill them as they dump. So, for example, Post Rock Aviation takes to the dump. And so when they dispose of, they write Post Rock Aviation and we bill them their tonnage. And then if at the end of the year it has not reached the $72, then they get paid the different, or they get billed the difference to reach the $72. Because everybody has a $72 minimum, including the businesses. Every resident, occupied resident, and every business has a minimum of $72 that they have to pay.
I understand that part, but it's also my understanding that this type of double billing, just like if I'm paying to have access to the landfill up to X amount of tonnage, yet I'm still paying for Randan to be contracted, hypothetically, you're still paying Randan to bill you to provide his service, each and every business that he does that for. So,
He's charging you the collection part directly to the resident.
right, but I don't
or
have to pay
the
any,
business.
but I don't have to pay any more. Do you see what I'm saying? I'm still paying that $72 bill or more separately, plus I'm paying Randan the collection on top of that, and nobody is paying for any potential differentiation in the weight, which we pay to Salina when we go, because we haul it from here, and then the county actually pays by weight. So this type of double billing is in addition to that, and I think that's not the only place that's happening.
We're not double billing.
No,
Because
it's
we're
through
only
Randan
billing.
that it's getting.
Well, there's two separate things. Randan is charging for the collection. In this case, they're getting double billed because they're paying for the collection on the city bill and they're paying Randan to dump it from their dumpster. So that truly is. Now, a business is not paying that collection fee on their city bill. They're only paying us the solid waste fee, and
But
they're
like
paying
he said,
the
it took
person
him
to
2
collect.
years to figure that out. We have no idea how many others may be in that same scenario. And what I'm saying is,
Correct.
this shows that Randan should be responsible for their own billing, not the county doing it for him. If he were to engage with all of his customers individually, just like I would have to pay him to provide me a dumpster, then that takes care of that problem.
Have you ever
I
thought
mean-
about how much more he's gonna increase the cost if he has to do all the billing individually? And then who's
Right
gonna
now,
go, who's
you're-
gonna
right
go
now,
around
Tammy,
and
you're
pick
paying
up,
for
who's
it
gonna
with
go
tax
around and
dollars.
pick up all the trash that people aren't paying their bill and he's not gonna pick it up?
Well, in other areas, when you have that incorporated billing system, the county or the city, that entity is running the business. It's not a separate, privately owned business that's doing that with their billing being accommodated by tax dollars. It would be like if the city actually had a trash service and you have 2 city employees that drive around a city truck and they go and haul the dump up to the dump, and then the city pays the dump by tonnage to take it away, and then the city has to charge accordingly so that they can make sure they cover their costs for that little operation. That's how it's typically done. This process of incorporating a private business using the county and city funds to do their billing for them, that's just unheard of. It's a Lincoln County thing.
Yeah. I'm not writing anybody a check for $5,000. If he couldn't, it's taken him 2 years to figure out, he absolutely had to know that that was getting billed through the city. I wasn't aware of it because I thought the agreement was that he was gonna come up here every month and tell us how many apartments were rented.
That originally was, until the city finally said that yes, they would add it to their city utility bills like they did. Because I think that the city was based upon the water meter and not necessarily the electric meter. And there's only one water meter, but each residence has its own electric meter. So each apartment has its own electric meter, but every apartment shared the same water meter. And so I think that their policy was actually on the water meter, that the that the solid waste, if you have water, you have trash. But I don't really know. To me, it's not my issue. You know, again, we would say the same thing if you've paid it for 2 years, you know. But I feel like I need to bring it forth to you because I'm not really sure. I believe that
Well,
I
what
had a
this
conversation.
raises is the question is how many other people is this happening to, or how many other businesses? Because it's probably not an anomaly. And so that would be our issue, because then we're collecting based on an estimated tonnage that no one ever weighs. And then,
I think it is an anomaly because we don't have very many apartment complexes in which
It's the
residential
only one I can
properties.
think of.
The Sylvan one might, I may have to look at that one, but, the city of Lincoln's other housing that they have is not, it's being charged on the residential properties. And she looked back and they're not paying for disposal of it's the apartment complexes. Which, maybe praise the Lord, we don't have very many of them.
well, I mean,
I-
other counties have a system by which they do it, and it doesn't fall into this category at all. So it's not as if there aren't other options to structure that. And like I said before, for the county to continue signing leases with this company that are negotiable, there's no point to having a contract. I mean, if you sign something for 5 years, but every year it can be renegotiated, what is the point of the 5-year commitment? I mean, it should be done on a yearly basis then. And you just guarantee from January through December that this is gonna be the price, and then come back and talk to us in January again. I mean, the county has really been doing a disadvantage to itself by allowing a business to just bill us as they see fit, and then we say, oh yes, we promise to deal with you for the next 5 years. And my understanding is it's been
I would welcome you to
decades.
go buy a couple of, spend $200,000 on a couple of trash trucks for a 1-year contract.
Well, you know, there are cities that have their own trash. There are counties that have their own trash. But I don't think you take 7,000 times 12. You know, that's basically what we're paying him is like $7,300 a month as a pass through. I just don't think that we could pay 2 employees and buy a truck for
What's
that.
7,000 times 12? Where are
That's
you
what
getting-
we're paying Randan. That's about what it equates down to per
$12
household.
per 7,000, and there are
Not-
7,000 accounts.
$9. When I looked last month, we paid him $7,235 or $234 something. But if you take that times 12, let's just take the math times 12. Let's say 7,200 because in case I'm over. Times 12, that's $86,400. We can't employ 2 people for $86,400 and buy a trash truck.
And pay for fuel, insurance.
Not with the benefits package we offer.
No.
But
Unfortunately.
I'm sure private companies aren't offering that type of benefits package. I mean, that's where there's a difference between,
The private sector. and
Right.
the public, yeah.
right.
I know.
But so for that $86,000, you're basically saying that you've monopolized the market. No one else can come in and compete for that $86,000 because we've already contracted it at a negotiable rate.
But they had an opportunity to bid when the contract was up.
Well,
I mean,
I'm
we-
all for bidding. I'm just saying if you're going to bid, you usually bid it and say this is the. It's like we signed with the Lincoln Park Manor new generator service contract. He gave us a price that's fixed for 3 years. We know exactly what it's going to be. He's not going to come back in and say, "Oh, we signed this contract, but now we're going to change the price." That is the point
He's
of the
not
contract.
buying
Yeah,
fuel,
but did
he's
we go
not
get bids?
purchasing fuel, and he's not
Did we?
paying
We asked for other
insurance,
bids,
and
and I
he's
think he
not.
couldn't find any. Or there was no. I think there was one other bid. It was much higher for the original amount. So
When
we asked
fuel
him to
goes
come back
up a
with
dollar
3
a
years.
gallon, does it affect your bottom line in your farming operation?
Well, I'm glad that you feel
If
comfortable
you could-
subsidizing that with
If
tax
you could
dollars.
project that out for 5 years, it would probably help you good.
But if I was gonna do a contract, I'd make it high enough so in case it does go up,
That's the exact point.
Yeah.
So you're gonna do an overreach in your contract for 5 years when it may not even go up, and in fact, he hasn't even asked for an increase in the last 2 years.
That's how business
So-
works, Terry.
Yeah.
In the real world, not with government subsidy.
I think you're gonna find, in the trucking industry,
Exactly.
there's a thing called a fuel surcharge, and it changes by the day. So you can have a contract to haul 1 million loads for someone for the next 10 years, but you're gonna get a fuel surcharge every time the fuel price changes, up or down.
so
So-
wouldn't it have been better for him just to bid year by year?
Well, he essentially does. He doesn't come in every year and ask for an increase.
But what I'm
And
saying
even
is,
then,
it
he's not granted one unless we grant it to him.
I know, but you're doing a contract
You're,
where it changes.
yeah, you're disadvantaging the county by guaranteeing that you're gonna do
And I
business
go
with
back to
them
the point,
for
would you
an
buy a
extended
couple of
period of time.
trash trucks for a 1-year contract?
Why are we having to guarantee that one particular company can base its entire business within our borders based on this contract? That's what the monopoly is. It doesn't provide for any capitalistic competition.
They have the opportunity to bid on it when the contract comes due. They always have. We'll adjourn until Monday.
Wait a minute, we have abatements.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
getting ahead of us here. Okay, we have Stetler, is that how you say that? Patricia Stetler. Net change of $40, negative $40.88 for city utilities. Paid the 2017 special to the city of Lincoln. And so you're saying we've already collected that and,
Yeah, they
okay,
collect it. If they can get money, they collect it.
okay. So that's 2018 3. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, let's start. 2018 1 is Randy Rathman, building taxed on 2 different parcels, the same building. So that's a net change of negative $3,324.38. And then 2018 2 is Ray Germain, I don't know how you say his last name, sorry. And it's a 2016 special paid to City of Lincoln, net change of negative $38.81. So I move to approve tax abatements 2018 1 through 3.
I'll second. There's no further discussion, all in favor say aye.
I,
Been a while since we've had any abatement. Slowed down a little bit.
love the professionalism around here. It just feels so good.
Probably adjourned.
I suppose so.
Was Aljo